Today on New Challenger, we're boozing it up and shooting through eye sockets in Max Payne 3. It's just like spring break. Today's episode of New Challenger is brought to you by Jack Threads. What is up, humans? I'm Anthony, and I would like to know if you like angst and also shotguns. Well, good, because after 9 years, Rockstar has released Max Payne 3, and it's different. Almost entirely for the better, though some of the changes are a little jarring. This review is going to focus on the single-player campaign. I'll have some multiplayer thoughts in a video later this week. So Max has aged along with us, though I wouldn't say there's been a lot of personal growth. He's even more washed up and tormented now, and is working personal security for a rich family in Sao Paulo. A member of the family's been kidnapped, and would you believe it's all part of something bigger, where nothing is as it seems and corruption runs all the way up to the highest levels of society? Pretty crazy, Max Payne. The story is great, though. Rockstar smoothed out all those rough narrative edges and gotten rid of the most wince-worthy of the over-the-top noir dialogue and turned Max's run through Brazil into something more Tony Scott or Michael Mann than Raymond Chandler. And it totally works well in context of the character. The comic book panels have been ditched for some slicker Hollywood effects and transitions, which Daniel Krupa over at IGN says initially seem a bit too much, too noisy and distracting, but after a while you acclimatize and it becomes part of the game's distinctive texture. Which I kind of disagree with. I mean, I did get used to them, but they seem just too over the top for me, and I wish they'd been used a little more sparingly. Like, if they'd been used more for emphasis in larger events than just all the time, I would have been much happier with them. The shooting in Max Payne is definitely solid and competent, though I wouldn't call it best in genre. Sometimes the controls felt a little sluggish, and Max sometimes had trouble figuring out just how to behave behind cover, but it never got to the point of really bugging me. The levels have been really well designed to balance bullet time and regular gunplay this time around, and it lets people use their own style while still having fun and feeling challenged. The action takes place in these huge set pieces. I mean, Max shoots up everything from office buildings to soccer stadiums to shipyards to airports, and he does it while he's like hanging from helicopters and jumping boats off of ramps. It's honestly a little weird to see Max going so action hero. If I had to make a comparison, the difference between Max Payne 3 and the original is sort of like the difference between Die Hard and Live Free or Die Hard. We're not like tiptoeing barefoot over glass anymore, we're just throwing cars into helicopters.
No!
The gore factor is huge here to match. So you shoot somebody in the jaw and it'll just go tearing off their face. You shoot them in the eye socket and it just leads to these huge gnarly exit wounds. Joystick says sometimes you're not sure whether to shake your head in disgust or laugh at how damn cool it all looks. IGN doesn't think the violence is shown in a tawdry or sensational way. That is less than true. Take the kill cam. The last bad guy in any room dies not just in slow-mo, but with this kill cam that lets you slow things down even more and then just keep firing bullets into their faces. That sounds a little sensational, don't you think? The slick presentation and the constant forward motion means that there aren't as many opportunities to just poke around an environment like there were in the other Max Paynes, which also means a lot of the silly background elements are gone. It's a totally okay swap though, because it means we get more solid writing, more good narration, and more excellent gameplay. I'll have my final scores and compare them to just how they stack up against other reviews in a moment, but first I wanted to thank Jack Threads for sponsoring the show today. You know guys, only suckers pay full price. Max Payne would never pay full price. I don't even know where you would get a leopard tie. But if you love alternative apparel brands but hate wasting all your cash on them, listen up. You can score these premium brands at up to 80% off every day. There's an invite-only shopping club called Jack Threads serving up street, skate, and surfwear brands at prices that will melt your brain. There's a waitlist to join, but if you head to jackthreads.com/challenger, you will get instant access to all of their killer hookups. It is totally free to join, you guys. Hit up jackthreads.com/challenger and you'll instantly start saving without having to leave the house. Okay, back to Max Payne. Let's quantify this mofo and see how my review compares with some others. First of all, I love how this game looks. The environments are absolutely gorgeous down to the tiny details, and the characters move with all kinds of just little touches and purpose. Sometimes ragdolls are silly, and those Tony Scott-inspired visual effects can be a little over the top, but this is a gorgeous game. I mean, they really nailed those eye socket bleedouts. They look real. 9 out of 10. On the audio front, Max Payne's got some of the best voice work I've heard in a game, as well as some excellent Foley. The soundtrack isn't super memorable, but it's really good and matches every moment, so I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Yeah, has-been washed-up old cops should go on TV. Yeah. Tell some jokes about how you got your wife killed.
Presentation is totally a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I miss those strange little Remedy moments, and I got a little tired of the in-your-face gore after a bit, but there's no doubting that this is one of the most slickly produced games ever. Gameplay is a solid 8. The shooting is competent and fun, and the bullet time's great, though it got a little monotonous towards the end. It felt like they were trying to just add more gunplay so they could add more cutscenes. I especially got a little tired of some of the on-track vehicle and sniping segments. Overall, I give Max Payne a 9 out of 10. Got a little fatigued by the gameplay there, missed some of the weirdness that made the originals so strangely entertaining, but this is an amazing game and a very cool new direction to the character. In comparison, IGN gave the game a 9, Joystick went 4.5 stars, and Polygon gave it a 9, so it looks like everybody's pretty into it. What did you think of Max Payne? Let me know down below in the comments or on Twitter. I am @acarboni. Also be sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're Rev3 Games on YouTube and on Twitter. And you know, Terralong's gonna be taking a look at the game this week on our YouTube channel as well, so be sure to subscribe and check that out.